World of Tanks with Dangerously Incompetent. The Newbies Guide to SPGs, Part 2. I'm driving the Bishop British Tier 5 SPG. We're on Airfield, it's a Tier 6 battle. Now with artillery, at the start of the battle, you want to move yourself into cover. Hard cover ideally, but hard cover that lets you shoot at somewhere where you can expect enemy tanks to be. Now with this Bishop, which is a high arc tank, I'm going to hide behind this low ridge. Now the Bishop has got a short range. You can see the red line, it's about 500 meters. So I have to get quite close to the enemy in order to hit them. Most artillery has the range of the map pretty much, so they can hide right at the back. But I've got to hide quite a way forward. Because I'm a high arc tank, you'll see immediately after the ridge I can't hit, but a bit further my line turns green, the aiming reticle turns green, I can shoot that area. Now most SPGs are low arc, so they wouldn't be able to make this shot, they'd have to move a bit further out, so like here, before they can get there, before that low ridge stops interrupting their shot. Now on Airfield, this area, E6, is where the heavy tanks generally meet. You can almost certainly guarantee someone's going to come up here. So here I am, aimed in, waiting for someone to turn up. I haven't been spotted. In the meantime, there's a light. Now he's a good target. That A20 is a light tank. He's a good target in that he's not got much armour. But he's a bad target in that he's a light tank and he's quite fast and moves around a lot. So in between the time he was spotted, he got unspotted, I waited to aim in, and by the time I shot he'd moved. Oh well, never mind. Got plenty of shots. It was worth a punt. It didn't work out. There's Churchill. He's in a good place for him. It's a bad place for me. He's in the shadow of this rock. Even with my high arc, I can't quite get him. That Arl, if he was spotted again. Oh, that's Crusader maybe. Now this is the frustrating part about artillery. So often you don't have shots. That Crusader came out just far enough for me to have the shot, so I aimed at him. He moved past where I'd aimed and then moved back in again. With the high arc SPG, you've got a long flight time for your shells. You've got a long flight time anyway for artillery, if only because you're shooting the length of the map most of the time. So enemy tanks tend to move around a lot. So you have to learn to predict where the enemy tanks are going to be when your shot lands. So you don't only have to take account of their speed, but what they're going to, where they're going to go, where they're going to turn. Now here we have two more juicy targets, an A20 and an AMX ELC. Both light tanks, both lightly armoured. They're not moving an awful lot, and there's two of them close together. So even if I shoot at one and he moves away, the other might even move into shot while the shell is in flight. But here we have a perfect shot, provided that ELC doesn't move. He's stationary, light armour, and I'm shooting him in the rear where there's less armour. So there you go, I'm fully aimed in, there goes the shot, and whammo! One shot, he's dead. I've only got one type of shell, high explosive, penetration of 57. Well, that was enough to go through the rear end of an ELC. So my shell went through and exploded for its full amount of damage inside the tank. Now my average damage is 450, but the ELC's only got 400 hits, so it was early bath time for the ELC. And that is why artillery players like artillery, like their SPGs, and why everyone else hates them. You get so much hate when you play an SPG, and it shows up in chat. Not this time, but most of the time. with a one shot like that, the other guy will be cursing and swearing at you. But, ha ha. Now here's a problem you'll face a lot of the time. I can shoot the A20, and I do, but the T67 was so close, with most artillery, is a lot more inaccurate than this Bishop. And with other artillery there'd be every chance that although I'm aiming for the A20, I'd hit my friendly T67. And even if I don't hit him directly, with other artillery's shells having a splash radius of 5-6 meters, it's very easy to splash damage your allies when they're that close. Very easy to get team killer points if you're not careful. One thing you can do to avert this is hit the T button for target. You saw the chevrons show up on that A20 before I shot him. That was me hitting the T button. Now, wise players, when they see that next to an enemy tank that they're close to, they'll know that you are either shooting at them, at the enemy tank that is, not your allied tank. You obviously wouldn't shoot your allied tank, and therefore back away, because they don't want to get hit by your shell or the splash damage from your shell. Although some players, especially at the end when we're piranhaing the final few enemy, they'll hug the enemy even closer to prevent you from shooting the enemy and getting a kill. But wise ones will see the T, will see the chevrons and go, oh, artillery's aiming at this guy, I'll back off a bit. Although sometimes they're hugging the enemy so that the enemy can't get a shot at them, which is fair enough. In that case, leave them well alone, unless they're about to be one-shotted and it really is do or die time for them, in which case it's worth having a punt. Or you can just wait for them to get killed and then take your shot. So that's a bit about SPGs. And the next SPG newbie guide, I'll be going on about your shot indicator, that green line, what it means when it turns red and what it means when it turns grey. Guy Panzer IV, I want to piranha him. There's my T. Oh, he's backing off. Oh, someone else has killed him before my shot came in. Hooray for the win!